Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zara and today I'm going to be talking about my top reading priorities for non-SFF books for the year of 2022. I read a lot of fantasy, I read a lot of sci-fi, and that will be predominantly what I read next year, but I always like to fit in non-SFF books in throughout the year as well because, I don't know, I like to change it up and I like to read different things. So the first one is actually a sci-fi book, and I should have put it in my SFF list that is probably up by now, but I'm going to just talk about it here because it's a classic and I cannot wait to read it, and that is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. We all know and love the story, we've all watched the film, absolutely phenomenal. I have such vivid memories of watching that film and the following films as well, but especially that film, the soundtrack, the characters, the effects, everything about it was perfection, and I cannot wait to read it. I can't believe I haven't read it, and I think it's going to be a really fun time. The next one is Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World by Benjamin Sayens. I've talked about the first book, Discover the Secrets of the Universe, many times on my channel. Beautiful story, beautiful characters, beautiful writing, just absolutely wonderful, and everyone should go read it. It's just such a wonderful story and I cannot wait to read book 2. The next one is City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. Centers around 4 friends in New York and their kind of trials and tribulations of living in the city, living their lives. And I like those types of stories. It's just kind of about people living their lives and trying to do the best that they can. And I've heard it's a fun time, so I'm excited for that one as well. The next one is a classic, and that is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I want to be reading Jane Austen's books in publication order. I read Sense and Sensibility this year, which I really enjoyed. And so now I'm going to be reading Pride and Prejudice next. I read Pride and Prejudice when I was in school. I hate the way they taught it in school. They actually made me hate Austen's writing. But then reading Sense and Sensibility really made me rediscover my love for her, and I'm really glad that I did that. And I can't wait to read it. I think it's going to be a fun time, and I really enjoy like the movie and the TV show, and I can't wait to read it with fresh eyes and as an adult. The next one is The Winter of Our Discontent by John Steinbeck. I really love the way that John Steinbeck writes. I think he's one of the best writers when it comes to human experience and just presenting the hardships of life in a really realistic but delicate way. And, you know, apologies for that. One of the joys of living in central London. But anyway, he just talks about the human experience in such a wonderfully poetic way, but it just feels very relatable. And my brother read The Winter of Our Discontent recently, and he loved it, and he thinks that I'm gonna love it, so I can't wait. Next one is Tender as the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald. As you can see, there's a couple of like kind of classical authors that I want to get through. I love Fitzgerald. Great Gatsby is actually my least favorite book of his, which is the one that he's obviously most well known for. But I really like the way that he presents relationships and the way that greed, power, money can impact that. And the substance of your relationship can't be because of those things. Like, it has to be because you have this, like, I don't know, intrinsic desire to want to be together, not because of material objects or money or whatever. And I've heard really great things about Tender as the Night. I've heard it's actually one of his best ones, but it's just not as well known. And so I'm really excited to pick it up. It's also not super long, so I think I could get through it pretty quickly. We've got 4 left to go. The next one is Sharp's Tiger by Bernard Cornwell. I was supposed to read this year, but I just didn't get to it because I was traveling. It's not a standalone, but I know you can read it as a standalone, so that's why I'm putting it in here. I think Bernard Cornwell has written about 12 books. It might even be more than that, actually. He's written a lot of books surrounding the character of Sharp, but Angela and Justin read it, and I know they both really enjoyed it. Alan loves the Sharp's books, so you know, these are people whose opinions that I really rate and very similar to. So I'm really excited to pick this one up this year. I think it'll be a bit different for me as well. The next one is Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. I've been wanting to read this year so badly, but I just haven't got around to it. And I haven't really been in the right mood for it either because it's so dark and it's just so like, I feel like when I finish reading that book, I'm gonna go need to watch like a bunch of cartoons or something. I'm preparing myself for that. But I just haven't found the right time. I haven't been in the right mood for it. But I have a feeling that next year I'll be able to find some time to pick it up, maybe after I've read something a little bit fluffier. Next one is by a recent new favourite author of mine, and that is Patrick DeWitt. And, you know, I read The Brothers Sisters and I read Ablutions, and this is his 3rd book. I think this is the 3rd book that he wrote as well, and that is Under Major Domo. No idea what it's about. I generally like to read his books without really knowing much about them because I think you can experience it more rawly like that. I have no idea what it's about. I ordered it recently and I'm very excited to pick it up. I like that his books are very easy to read in the sense that while they're tackling some pretty difficult themes, they're quite short, quite palatable, and so you can get through them pretty quickly. I've read both of his books now in the space of a day, so they're pretty easy for me to get through. And then the last one is a Western. It is a absolute behemoth of a book. It has been recommended by my favorite author, Joe Abercrombie, and that is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I love Westerns. I've been getting into Westerns more recently, and it made me realize what I loved about Westerns. I love that Westerns are they kind of show humanity at their worst, but then they also show humanity at their best in a way, in such a stark way as well. I feel like with Westerns as well, you just get this very unapologetic look about how hard it is to live your life on the frontier. And I love those types of stories. I love like those very human-centric stories where you're following one or two characters and you're getting their insight into the life that they live and what they want to get from that. So Lonesome Dove, I mean, Larry McMurtry in general is an author that I suspect that I'm really gonna like, but it is a very big book and I just need to figure out the best way to fit that into my reading schedule next year. And there we have it. That's the final one. As always, let me know your thoughts on any of these books and whether you've read them, whether you think I'll like them based on my previous videos and what I've talked about before. But I'm very excited for 2022. I think there's going to be some great reads coming out. I have matured much more as a reader. My reading tastes have, I think, become a lot more refined. I really think I've found like my niche of what I really like. And there's a couple of niches. I've got multiple niches that I really enjoy. And I think it's going to be a good reading year. This year was a pretty good reading year. I'll be doing a wrap up of the year soon, probably early January, once I've actually finished reading all the books that I want to read. But this year's been pretty good. But I have a feeling next year's going to be even better, so I'm excited for it. But anyway, I'm going to stop it there, folks. As always, thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for the support. And I hope you enjoyed this one as well. Stay safe, take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.